What's up, YouTube? Mr. Llama here, and today I want to talk about Diablo 2 Etiquette. This has actually been a requested video. A little bit longer ago, people requested it, and I kind of forgot to make it. It wasn't something that I really thought needed to be made in my mind because I've been playing this game for so long, but then I was like, you know, there's definitely some people who just don't understand. They don't understand what the general etiquette is for games. They don't understand values of items. They don't understand all this stuff, and they're not sure what to do, what to say, all of that stuff. And so, you know, I just wanted to try and say a little bit about it. So let's go ahead and jump into my list right here. Now, the first one is going to be pretty standard, but a lot of people seem to abuse it anyways. Jumping into games to magic find with higher player numbers is generally going to be frowned upon, especially if the game has nothing to do with that, right? If the game is just like magic finding, you know, or like killing stuff or whatever things, it's like not as big of a deal. You can go in, everybody can kind of go around, do their stuff. It's great to find a few players, and I hope that they like improve their lobby system and things so you can just find that where it's just like, let's all join together and do this. But if you go into a game that's like trade and you just go off and magic find the whole time, or you go into a game that's like Act 1 questing and you go off and kill everything and magic find, generally going to be pretty frowned upon. All you're doing is increasing the difficulty for everybody else to kind of benefit yourself there. At the same time, or you're just making it so it's filling the game up, right? 3-4 people come in and are just running around killing all the areas, and now everybody's stuck in the trade and they're like, we're just trying to trade and there's like nobody here because everybody's off magic finding. So that's generally going to be pretty frowned upon. Where it ultra gets pretty scummy is if you're killing quest objectives. So if there's the, you know, starting Act 1 and you go in and kill like Mephisto and Andariel and all that stuff, and then they get to Andariel and she's already dead and they can't get their quest because you went and killed her already, generally going to be seen as a scummy move. So number one, don't do that. You know, try and join games where people are doing the things that you want to go do, or make a game if you want, you know, and just say like, hey, like magic finding, whatever it is, I don't know, that sort of stuff. Number two, offering large amounts of garbage generally is going to be frowned upon. And with this, I can try and show an example. That's the wrong scene. Let's go in and find someone that kind of has some garbage. It might actually be tough. Man, this guy probably does. So somebody's like, Burr for offer, right? That's the name of the game. And you go in and you're like, pretend this is the trade window. You're like, I got 2 Nefs, I got an Alders, I got Sanders, 7 fast run walk charm, 20 lifer, 20 attack rating, and a 4/3 fire facet. Is this, do you accept? Do you need any of these things? Right? Generally, this is going to be frowned upon. And you know, you don't want to be too like mean to people that do this because a lot of times they just have no clue. At the same time, if you're the person doing this, you're well below the Burr value, right? If you're throwing in things that you have no clue about and stuff like that, you're going to be well below it. I've got videos on kind of like price valuations for a lot of items. I have a little series in my playlist you can check out. I'll link it in the description. At the same time, there is going to be even more stuff that I'm going to be creating. I'm going to create like a price guide sheet that's going to give you kind of some ranges for items and things. And so you really just want to not be doing this sort of stuff because it's just kind of wasting everybody's time. And they're just like, all right, none of this is, no, this isn't what I'm not. Look at it. At the same time, if somebody specifies something where they're like, Burr rune for perfect griffins, and you come in and you're like, well, I don't have a griffins, but, and then you start like laying all these sorts of things out, generally that's going to be frowned upon. If you're not bringing what they're looking for, a lot of times it's going to be pretty meh. Unless you're bringing something that's like super nice, right? Where you're like, hey, here's like jaw plus low plus this like nice, whatever stuff, right? So there are certain times where you can do it, but a lot of times, if they're looking for that, like Griffins, whatever it is, they're looking for that. They don't care to see your Alders or your Hodo, 33 Hodo or whatever stuff, right? They don't need more items that they're then going to go try and trade off to get the Griffins. You're just prolonging their trading. A third thing is going to be when you're talking in trades and just talking with people, just kind of like having decent social skills, which I know is difficult because, you're gamers and things like that, but there's still kind of a point where you got to be a little bit nicer, right? Don't be crazy pushy. Don't be like, do it now or it's gonna go fast, whatever. Like some people are very much like that. Another thing, a lot of people don't talk at all. And so I know it's a little hard with the chat right now because the chat just kind of sucks, but you're going to see people that say, hey, what you got? What you want? I know you can't see those, so I'm just going to type some random things, right? They'll say WUG, what you got? WUW, what you want? And this is them asking. So I might say burr for offer, and you come in and I put the burr up and I say WUG. Or you might say WUW. Once again, what do you want? What do you got? And answering is generally a good thing. You can say, hey, I've got, this, or you can start posting things in there. I've got Griffins, I've got Hodo, I've got Enigma, I've got blah, blah, blah. What are you sort of looking for? What about you? Engaging and actually chatting. But a lot of times I'll ask this, or what do you want, right? They'll post up a 37 life fire GC, and I'll say, WUW, what you want? And they'll just not say anything. They'll just sit there, and we'll just sit in the trade window for a minute while the Grand Charm just sits there. And it's like, just engage. Just talk. Just say, oh, give me a high runes, or give me this, or whatever, right? But just engage in some way, right? Number 4 is going to be moving a little bit off trading right there. Dropping hot TPs. So this is going to be, let me just go here real fast. When you just create a TP that's just in a terrible position. We've all done it before. But if you're like right here and you're like, all right, and it's kind of hard because it's not very hot. My mercenary and everything is killing too much. But you kind of like create this TP and then like go into town right there. And obviously that's not like a terrible spot, but it's generally going to be more like endurance in the chaos, at the Travancore, those sorts of things. In the cows, if you do it in the middle of 100 cows, right? That sort of stuff. And then you say, Trav's up. And the person's like, oh, okay. Sure, I'll just walk through here and, oh my god, what the heck is going on? I'm probably dead now because I was just teleporting randomly because I knew that was going to be bad. Especially with these load screens, it's awful. So, dropping hot TPs, generally really try to avoid that. Watch where your TPs are. Notice if a lot of monsters are moving over it, because sometimes you set a safe one and then 10 seconds later it starts to get hot. At the same time, you can type in the chat 1 is safe. You can also just type safe. You can type 2 for unsafe, or you can type hot. And that's just, a quick little boom, right? You just type it real fast and it'll just be right there. Hot TP. And that means don't come in, or if you're going to come in, know that there's going to be a lot of monsters. So, you can prepare yourself. Make sure you're a strong character, you're buffed up, whatever, things like that. 1.5, I would assume that's a medium, right? You can say kind of hot, whatever stuff, but just generally give people an idea of what the portal is. But if everybody's waiting for you to open the portal to come in, generally don't set that in a hot scenario or a hot place. People are going to be very upset with you. Number 5 and we'll move a little bit again. When you see two people dueling, don't interfere with the duel, and this can be in many ways. One, shooting arrows at them, letting your summons or your mercenary get in the way, having on like a conviction aura or something of that regard, or just any of those things, right? Anything that's just gonna interfere with other people's dueling, generally just kind of seen as pretty like scummy, because it's like, hey, we just want to fight. Like, just let us have our fight and get out the way, you know? So you do see people do that sometimes, and that's just kind of a thing. Also, in PvP, there's a lot of etiquette around wearing certain things. So if you're maxing out like all of your absorb and all of your resistances, I mean, you can always max your res, but like with all the absorb and overmax and all that stuff, it can, you can be like BM in that sort of way. There's lots of rules around PvP to make it like more fair. Public duels, you're just going to find people abusing all those things though. So that is just kind of whatever. Number 6, generally just not sticking to the game title. Once again, if people are like, hey, this is a trade game, if you come in and you're like, hey, who wants to run bail runs with me, and take like 3 people off to go run a bail run, it's like, let's just have trade, right? The general etiquette is to create your own bail run game for bail runs, let the people in the trade game do the trading, right? Number 7, joining a game and trying to trade the item the creator is trying to trade. So, for instance, the game says SOJ for low rune, and you see a couple people in the game, and you join the game and say, I've got SOJ, trying to get the low rune. Generally not a great thing to do. People are going to kind of hate it a little bit. The host will especially hate you. Can it work sometimes? Sure. Is it very scummy and bad etiquette? Yes. Yes, it is. Number 8, making the next game in a series instead of letting the creator make. So you'll see this often with like bail runs. I'm making Llama Bail 1, Llama Bail 2, Llama Bail 3, Llama Bail 4. Oh, it's already been created by somebody else because they wanted to jump the gun and get the people in the game there. Very, very annoying. The creator doesn't like it. Generally, the people joining the game also don't like it because, what if the creator was doing the teleporting or it just breaks stuff up. If you don't get in that run, just get in another run. Just wait for the next run. Go find another set of bail runs, joining in that stuff. It's very annoying. So people really don't like it when you do that. Bad etiquette. Number 9, staying in games after the title is done forever ago. So if the title is, Llama Chaos 1, and we go in and we kill the Chaos in 5 minutes, and everybody leaves except one dude who's just running around for an hour, now everybody keeps coming in because they think there's the Chaos game, and then, the Chaos is already done, and they're waiting, and, right, like, just go to another game. Go to the next game. If the title is done and the game has ceased, just move on so that the lobby is not full of games that are 3 hours long. The lobby already sucks enough right now. We don't need you filling up the few games that we get to see with 4-hour-old bail run games. Number 11 is etiquette. It's more about how it works. So blank for blank means my blank for your blank. Burr for perfect griffins means I have burr rune and you have perfect griffins that I'm wanting you to bring to the game. I just see a lot of people confusing this. They think it's them first, and they're like, oh, I have the burr rune. So they come in and they're like, do you have the perfect griffins? And it's like, no, I have the burr rune. And they're like, oh, I have the burr rune. Yeah, so it's blank for blank is me for you, mine for yours. Just like a general rule of thumb. I've just seen a lot of people confusing that and not being certain about it. And my last etiquette tip that I'm going to give is being rude to new players ain't cool. Remember, not everybody played this game 20 years ago and has been playing it ever since and has 20,000 hours like you big nerd. There's a lot of people who just picked up this game for the first time because it's Diablo 2 Resurrected, and it's fun and it looks cool and it's this new thing, and they don't know what's going on, right? So they're just coming in and they're not certain of these things. They're going to make some of these etiquette mistakes. They're going to do some of that stuff. And the best thing you can do is just inform them, right? You can just be like, hey, WUG equals what you got, right? Like, that's, you know, I'm like looking for offers on this, whatever stuff. Or like, all of these items don't really kind of make sense for this, you know. Maybe try and like do something else, right? Go look for like some smaller things. These sorts of items could be better for you at that point. Yeah, just not being mean, because once again, while you've played this game and have perfected it and know everything to the last tiny detail, which I promise you don't, because I keep looking in the code and learning new stuff every day, but you know more than the average person does with it, be kind to the new people, right? We want them to keep coming back. We want the game to continue to do well and be great, and you sucked just as much before, and we're also terrible at the game. So, you know, be nice to those that are new. And going with that, of course, is like don't scam people and all those things. That's obvious, like etiquette stuff. I don't think I need to throw that in there. So, anyways, that kind of is Mr. Llama's tips for etiquette in Diablo 2. If there's anything you think I missed, feel free to post it down below in the comments. Would love to read. I'm sure there's a couple things that I did miss here and there, but that's kind of the general flow of stuff, the general etiquette that I would say in the game that you're going to find, you know, and the different situations with like, the dueling or that stuff, you know, all of that. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace, YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe.